Good morning, everybody. It's about 10:30 a.m. on Christmas Day. I did not plan on doing this, but I wanted to jump in and join with you guys here for about maybe 20 minutes or so. First off, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays. It's odd to be with you today. As I said, I didn't think I was going to do this, but I said, hey, what the heck? I just take 20 minutes or so and few topics that are big in the world of sports, and I wanted to hit on that. But first and foremost, I hope that everybody has an amazing Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. Hopefully everything went well last night. The new year in just 7 days, 2026 is already upon us. Family, friends, holidays, getting together, it means so much. And hopefully everyone has a safe and happy holiday, and again, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right, a few things here. University of Michigan, I'm going to touch on football. That was looking forward to it. You know, the whole day of football on Christmas Day is far less meaningful than we thought it would be maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Lamar Jackson, and the talk about him potentially and exiting out of Baltimore and where he might end up, why he might leave, etc. And a quick thought on Philip Rivers and what I think we're about to see. So let me start off first with the University of Michigan, and we'll see here if we get some people to join live. There's somebody that joined live. If you don't join live and you're seeing this on the replay, again, spent about 20 minutes with you here today. So on the University of Michigan, and this is hard for me to say in a way. Again, for those of you who do not know me, I'm 53 years old, born and raised in Michigan for about 52 and a half or so years of my life. Just relocated to Florida this past February. Grew up Michigan fan through and through and through. Started to fade as a fan, or the Rich Rod years and the Brady Hoke years. Then when they hired Harbaugh, I was ecstatic. Was back. Man, I was pumped. Man, we finally got this figured out. And about 4 years in, after the losing Ohio State, Michigan State, all big games, the circus, Ric Flair, his crazy attitude, I stopped rooting for the program. Have never come back. Even with the national championship, never came back. They hired Sharon Moore, never came back. Obviously, we know what's happened with Sharon Moore. I have no desire to go back to the program. But I want to talk about specifically what's going on, Arnell. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. What I want to talk specifically about is the dumpster fire that the University of Michigan has truly become. It is beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. Part of the reason that I left as a fan of the University of Michigan is their arrogance and their belief that they are better than everybody else. From when you're sitting in the stadium to the aura of the university to the way that they act, it was always this holier than thou, we are better than you attitude. And Jim Harbaugh exhibited that, and not much has changed. And as we see what's happening as the unraveling, and when I say the university, let me be specific and say that it is the football program that I am talking about right now. Dusty May, it appears by all accounts, is running a world-class basketball program, and many of the other sports, there are dozens, okay? So I'm speaking specifically about the university as a whole in terms of the way that they model themselves as if they are the best and can do no wrong, has bothered me for a couple of decades, really. As I got older and I started to realize that that's just not, you're not a whole lot different than anybody else. And when you act like that, you set yourself up for being picked apart when something doesn't go right. And man, it has gone terribly wrong. Let me say this and go ahead and clip this. Jim Harbaugh will never be remembered first for winning a national championship at the University of Michigan. He will be remembered for being the architect of the dismantling or of the absolute bottom falling out of the University of Michigan football program. Hey, Todd, Merry Christmas. He is 100% the engineer and the architect. You could say Ward Manuel, but it is really Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh was responsible for hiring Weiss, the guy who went ahead and did did all of the email tracing and looking into people's private accounts. He was offensive coach. Sherrone Moore, he's responsible for bringing him into the program. He spoke heavily for him and vouched for him to become the new head coach. Biff Poggi is part of that as well. And, you know, when the heat got hot in the kitchen, he took off and he went to the NFL because he was never going to be, basically never going to be allowed to coach in college again. So he took off. So that was really the start of it, the start of the downfall, and it has continued. And I'm not going to get into all the details because it's still alleged, and I don't like to talk about things that are alleged until they are fully proven. But based on what we know, Sherrone Moore lived this way for 2 or 3 years with this girl who did not live directly on campus, but allegedly lived in an apartment complex that players lived in. The point that I want to make here is it is impossible for no one at the University of Michigan to not know about this. We all know people talk in life. Very difficult to keep a secret, especially today. 20, 30 years ago, it was much easier to keep a secret. In today's world, with social media and cameras and everything else, it's really basically impossible to keep any secret of any magnitude. And I would say that a man married with 3 children, having an extramarital affair, and dipping his toes, so to say, this may be a bad example, into philanderous behavior with a bunch of other women. There's just no way that fellow coaches didn't know, that players didn't know, administrators didn't know, and other people close to the program, whether that's a regent, a donor of some sort. Man, just word gets around. And so where I'm going with this is I have no idea, and I will never understand how the University of Michigan did not decline the invitation to go play in a bowl game. Something, somewhere, somebody made them believe that they are deserving of being in a bowl game. They are not deserving. I am a former coach. There is nobody in this world that is more for players through a situation like this than I am. With that being said, in the total team concept, hey, Zach, how you doing, buddy? Yeah. I miss talking to you guys on that, but I'm glad you're here, and I hope you continue to follow. There's a lot of exciting things coming up. Zach has been a fan for a while, and he watched me on a national show that I was on that I am no longer on. You know, it's like for some reason they think they're entitled to be in that game. And I would say that they don't deserve to be in that game. And while the players to some degree would suffer, when the players do something wrong, the coaches in the university suffers. When the coaches do something wrong, the players in the university suffers. It's all in one. You can't just take the parts and put them all aside. There are repercussions for our actions in life, and there is collateral damage for our actions in life. When you take it a step further, I don't know how you go represent your university in some meaningless bowl game against Texas. Decline the invitation, should have. It's probably too late now. Decline the invitation, get your house in order. We're not going to play in a bowl game this year because of what happened, and we're going to fix this, and this is our number one priority. So like Ward Manuel, where are you at? This is not about money. This is not about, oh, let's get the guys to travel to some game. All of that is secondary, isn't even the right word. It's way down the list of importance. This is a catastrophic type event and failure as a university. Ward Manuel should not be employed at this university. Have no idea how he still is. He is aligned with all of this. There is one way and one way only, in my opinion, to heal. And if fix this, heal and fix this is, and if it is not loud and clear, like an airplane with a banner flying over the ocean with a big sign that says, University of Michigan, nobody wants your football job. There's a reason for that. The way you've conducted yourself, and a lot of times the actual incident is one thing. It's what you do after that can amplify or defuse what has happened. Your actions following all of this going public is a double, triple, 10x disaster. And your current interim head coach is going on a podcast and he's airing your laundry. While I agree with what some of it is he's saying, you just can't do it. You just pray for us, and we weren't going to have that many guys opt out. But now I they've gone home for the holidays, and I don't think a lot of them are going to come back. First of all, I wouldn't come back. If I was a player, why would I want to be involved with that? I would be entering the portal. I would be moving on. There's no direction. There's no GPS. There's nobody in charge. There's nobody in control of anything. It's like there's no plan. They want to do an investigation. What investigation needs to be done? Warde Manuel's been a part of this. You're guilty by association. If you didn't know, you're guilty because you should have known. If you did know and you did nothing about it, you're guilty by association. You're gone, buddy. You're literally gone. Anybody who is involved in that coaching staff, and there may be some people that didn't do anything wrong. I don't think everybody's at fault here, but you have to clean it all out, all of it. You have to it's like mold in a house that gets in your drywall. If you don't do it, it spreads down the wall. You have to rip it out down to the studs, and you have to rebuild it all from scratch. And the University of Michigan, here's what I think. I think the University of Michigan thinks they are above that. They don't need to do that because we're Michigan. We're this big block M, and people will come to us, and this too shall pass. No, this too shall not pass. Some of the young Kenny Dillingham, one of the brightest young coaches in all of college football. I understand his loyalty to the university. He went there, he played there. That means a lot. Under a normal circumstance, let's say that this wasn't going on, but for some reason in a standard firing, the University of Michigan job came available, Kenny Dillingham would be the coach of the University of Michigan, regardless of his loyalty or his history with the Arizona State University. 100%. There'd be a line of coaches taking a number. How do I get in? How do I get in? How do I get in? Instead, everybody's running for the hills. And they're leveraging the University of Michigan. Hey, guess what, University of Michigan? You're popular in that other coaches are leveraging potentially the rumors or potentially you taking the job to drive up a renewal price for them. You're now bait. That's what you've become. You're bait. And it's like somebody needs to admit this within the university and say, listen, we really screwed this up. We made some terrible mistakes. Those are unacceptable. They are beneath our standards. We need to make changes, and we need to make significant changes, and those start right now. And like I said, should have withdrawn. Your first step should have been, we're withdrawing from this bowl game. We have more important matters to tend to right now. Let me say this. This girl, and I don't have her name in front of me, she is not, beyond any type of critique here too. She's guilty in this as well. She's a victim to a degree, but she is a she is part of this as well. Together, she was a employee, and there's some alleging that she is still employed by the university. She's an employee of the university conducting herself in this manner. She is a representative of the program of the university. It isn't. Sherrone Moore's actions are, holy smokes, awful bad. And then when you start threatening somebody else's life or intending to do danger to your own life, and you end up for your hearing in a padded room, really sad to see. The man has a serious problem, and I hope he gets the help he needs. But she's part of this too, in that she works for the university. She's not just some random person that has nothing to do with the University of Michigan. So this isn't even just a Harbaugh thing, or you go down the coaching tree and a Warde Manuel thing and a Sherrone Moore thing. She's a part of this too. And you guys just continue to do this. Wake up. Clear it out. Biff, get off the podcasts. You're making it worse. And there's no way you didn't know either, buddy. There's no way that somebody could run a dual life like this with an employee of the school, of the university, that is directly an assistant of him, and you not know that. On the football field, around the program, she's his assistant. There's no way you don't know. You want this job at the university. You're not free of guilt either, buddy. Stop walking around like, oh, I'm going to fix this program. Why didn't you step up and say something to somebody? Or if you did and nobody listened, why would you want to be a part of that university? All this double talk, both sides of the mouth, it's just a disaster zone. It's making it worse. It's spreading across all programs. It's spreading across the students. How this is being allowed to go on, I will never understand. I have seen few things in sports, college, pro level that mirror this. And it's from the state that I was born and raised in. It's from the school that Bo Schembechler made so famous about the team, about doing things the right way, about following the rules. And that's all gone out the window. That's gone out the window in terms of following NCAA rules, breaking rules over and over and over, from recruiting to spying to the conduct unbecoming of any man to lead anything in life. That man can't, unfortunately, lead his own life right now, let alone lead a university. And he was allowed to get away with this, for some believe 2 years for sure, and some believe up to 3 years, right on the campus, during games, in locker room, halftime, before games, after games, texting women, OnlyFans models. I mean, insane. All right. Philip Rivers. This won't be as long, I promise. Philip Rivers, what an interesting story. I don't know if we can say that this is, wow, holy cow, this is Philip Rivers, and oh my gosh, I said this the other day on X. If he's not a Hall of Famer, if there was ever any disagreement on that, he should be now. Is that really a Philip Rivers thing, or is that an NFL thing? Is that an indictment on quarterbacks all over? How can a man step up off the couch and do what he's doing, and do what he's doing successful? And it's like, is that just Philip Rivers, or is that we're just used to seeing quarterbacks not do it right? Nevertheless, that national show that Zach just mentioned a little bit ago, about 6-7 weeks ago, before Daniel Jones got injured, I had said it was over for the Colts, and it was like, oh. And the guy on the show says, oh, I see 12 or 13 wins. I'm like, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. Their defense is a mess. This was before Sauce Gardner, but it doesn't matter with Sauce Gardner, without Sauce Gardner, with Daniel Jones, without Daniel Jones. They weren't winning 12 or 13 games. It was never real because they didn't play a lot of people. I understand why you did what you did with Philip Rivers, even though Anthony Richardson, though I'm not a supporter of him as a quarterback, I don't think he has the ability to lead a franchise. I felt like, man, all right, this is an opportunity maybe to give to him once he was cleared. They're not doing it. Let's have a 44, 45-year-old guy off the couch. He gets his insurance benefits for the next 10, I think it's 10 years. He's got like 7 kids or something like that. So kind of smart in that regard, but he's actually conducted himself well. To watch him orchestrate an offense like that, that's of a level of a Brading, a Manning, a Breeze. You know, these types of guys, the way he can process a game, it's so rare. Things he's doing at the line, his calls that he's doing at the line is interesting. And part of the reason that I bring this up is I think we're going to see more of this. I literally have a feeling we're going to see more quarterbacks come out, like the real cerebral ones, the ones who could really process a game, where they can beat you at the line with their mind and not necessarily their ability, and moving the team in and out of plays and in and out of situational times during a game that can make them effective. I think we're going to see it. 38-year-old guys, 40-year-old guys. I think this is, I hate to say it, George Foreman really started it in boxing, and you've seen so many guys older come back and fight. And I know the Jake Paul thing, it's a topic for another day, was a total fix show with Tyson, but you get these guys 56, 57 coming back. I'm not saying a 57-year-old quarterback is going to come back, but Brady proved it could get done. while he never retired. And Rivers has done it. And I think, and Rivers is out of shape too. I mean, you could see it. That's a dad bod for sure. And dude still, nutting it up, and he's playing. So I think you're going to see more guys do that. But real credit to Philip Rivers for not just being like this big hype thing. He's actually performed, and he performed pretty darn well against San Francisco's defense. So shout out to him. Lamar Jackson. I got called a racist yesterday again because I don't like Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. There's 8 people on the sign behind me. 4 of them are black. Dude has no idea what he's talking about. I made a comment and I said, not now and not ever has Lamar Jackson been in the top 8 or 9 quarterbacks of mine. And he says, take your racial bitch. Stop talking about football. It's not racial. It's just my eyes can't unsee what they have seen. I mean, I have guys in the conversation above Lamar Jackson, like Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love, and even CJ Stroud I've talked about above him in that regard. And there are others that you could actually make an argument about. He's a fantasy football quarterback. He's a PlayStation quarterback. He's a regular season quarterback. Well, he's won 2 MVPs. I don't care if he's won 2 MVPs. That doesn't mean he's going to lead my team to a Super Bowl. There's something that is off. No way Hurts is overrated. So you think Hurts is overrated? Or you're saying there's no way he is overrated? Nevertheless, there's all this talk about Lamar Jackson and give up 2 first-round picks, potentially send him to Miami. And I'm like, now that's a franchise that is as messed up as any. What makes you think that throwing Lamar Jackson in that mix is going to make things better? He is not a command and control type of quarterback where people will just line up and follow him. First of all, Mike McDaniel should not be the head football coach. I predicted it at the beginning of the year that either during the year or at the end of the year, he would be gone. Now, I could see a scenario where they say, hey, we got Lamar Jackson and Mike McDaniels is a bright mind. Let's keep him in. And, we got Tyreek Hill's gone. You can figure that for sure. But we got A-Chain and we've got Waddle and, maybe Darren Waller comes back and, let's add Lamar Jackson to it and, we're going to be prolific. I don't think he's a leader. I don't think he can take the team on his back. He's just not that guy. And I think it's a much ado about nothing. And if I'm Miami, you have holes all over your team and you have holes at head coach. That should be your priority first and foremost. And going ahead and giving up first-round draft picks for him, I don't think that should be your focus. I don't see the value there to do it in any way, shape, or form. I think it was Joe Shad that put up a hypothetical scenario, a trade scenario involving draft picks, and I said he's basically not worth anything more than a 4th-round pick. And I truly, truly believe that. My criteria and my standard of what a quarterback is and should be is, I think, maybe different than a lot of people. It isn't just statistics. It isn't that I won an MVP. It's, can I make the biggest plays in the biggest moments, and can I do that consistently and sustain it over the long period of time? Now, Baltimore is a mess. You can follow me, and please do. The barcode there in the upper right-hand corner, scan or QR code, scan that, takes you right to our YouTube account, and go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I have a video up there that I did recently about John Harbaugh and letting Mike Macdonald go out of your organization and keep 63-year-old John Harbaugh, or 61, whatever he is, was a horrible mistake. The ship is done sailed. He shouldn't be the head coach there. And I don't think Lamar Jackson should be the quarterback. But in fairness to Lamar Jackson, after Ozzie Newsome retired and Eric DeCosta took over, they've really never gotten him any weapons of real significance. Zay Flowers is not a true number 1. You're playing the tight end game with Lively and with Andrews. Yeah, you went and got Derrick Henry. I get it. But and that's another thing too. You do have Derrick Henry, and you still can't do it. You did have a good defense a year ago, 2 years ago. This year is totally different, but you did have some parts, and he still couldn't get him over the hump. Now, again, if you are a great quarterback, Like, look at Justin Herbert as an example. He's going to will you to win. No matter what, broken hand, limited talent, your shredded offensive line, he wills the team to win. And you know that he's going to rise up in big moments. This is not a color thing. It's a performance thing. He's going to rise up and he's going to win you the game more times than not. And many times he will take the team on his back and he will do it, or he will make other players better, like a Ladd McConkey, whoever it may be, or Rondé Godson Jr. He'll make other people better. I don't think Lamar Jackson makes other people better. Lamar Jackson, human joystick, I guess you could say, video game player scatting around. I don't think he does it as much as he once did, but that's who he is. And that's what you get. And if I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, I mean, I do live in Florida. I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm not like banging the drum to get him to come to my team. I just am not. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Please follow us on X at PB Sports Talks. Scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to follow us on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button. I have a lot of picks that go out during the week. Guys that follow me got California and Hawaii over last night. Basically, it was the only sporting event going on. I will have some, what do we got here? About 11 o'clock. I will have the NFL picks, at least for the early game, Dallas and Washington here going up in a little bit. Maybe some NBA picks as the later games, the mid-afternoon or afternoon game, and then the night game with Denver. As we get closer to that, they will pop up, not on YouTube, but on X. So again, on X at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end. YouTube is at PB Sports Talk, or just go ahead and scan that QR code. Takes you right to YouTube, and smash the subscribe button. Again, honestly, truly, from my family to yours, everyone have a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday. Remember, 2026 is right around the corner. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Be safe, be smart. Take the new year as an opportunity to be better than we were in 2025. I know I got a lot of things to work on. I'm sure everybody else out there does. I'm hoping for great things in 2026 for PB Sports Talk. I appreciate all of your support. Please share it with a friend, a family member. I'd love to expand our audience, and then there's some other things that I can do if we're able to make that happen. This is about you guys, not about me. I can talk about sports to myself or to other people. I want more engagement from fans. This is really about you. Each week on the show, I try to answer all the questions I can. And let me ask, before I go, do I think Jeff Brom or Jedd Fisch would be solid hires for Michigan? I don't know if either one of them can take on what this is. And I'm sorry it took me a minute to get to that. What it takes is somebody of a true, and there's not many of them, somebody of a true depth of ability to command respect and credibility, to resurrect what is a program that is, it's in quicksand. There's really no other way to say it. It's in quicksand. And until they get somebody in there that really knows what they're doing and has experience over the long haul to take something like this, who is that guy? Man, I honestly, this is a really tough thing. I felt it was a Marcus Freeman guy. I felt it was a Nick Saban type of guy. Like, Marcus Freeman's at the top of my list in terms of guys that are, and there's another black guy, right? I'm not racist. He's my favorite coach in all of college football. It would take somebody like that. He's not leaving Notre Dame for this. Even before this, I don't think he was leaving Notre Dame to come to Michigan. But it would take somebody like that. It would take Nick Saban to bring in, his heir apparent, come in for 2 years, rebuild the whole program. But why would he do this? Why? Why would, and I'm going long here, but why would even a guy like Nick Saban do it? John Gruden, he's had a lot of issues. I don't know if he's the right guy. Why would John Gruden subject himself to this? You have to be perfect. You literally have to be perfect. There's no room for error. And you have cleanup on, I always say this, you have cleanup on aisle 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. The whole supermarket has breakage all over the floor. There's jars of pickles all over the floor. You got to clean all of that up first before you ever even get to football. So it's probably going to be a younger guy that wants to develop a name, that wants to take this on, that had Kenny Dillingham would have been a guy like that, and he chose to stay. You basically have limited options. And if I'm any coach, there's just so many jobs out there, and they're going to continue to open. It is volatile now more than ever. You saw it this year. So many coaches gone. So if I'm a coach out there, I'm thinking, I'm not going to Michigan. Let me hold where I am and let me survey what's going to happen. Maybe there's probably not going to be any more firings now, but let me evaluate next year, and I'm going to have better picks. I'm going to have better opportunities. Yes, I'm saying it. There are a lot of better opportunities than the University of Michigan head coaching job. Why would Jedd Fisch do it? Why would Jeff Brohm do it? And Jeff Brohm just re-signed, by the way. I'm pretty sure he re-signed a deal after the bowl game, or it was in place. And when the bowl game ended, he was going to sign that deal. Jedd Fisch, why? I don't see it. Why would you leave where you're at to come do this? Anyhow, again, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Enjoy your day. Thank you for your support over all of 2025, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.